The city center is an important part of any urban area, Los Angeles included. And along with most major cities, there lies a defined open space nestled in amidst the towering skyscrapers and pillars of industry. For LA, the role of a city center park is filled by a small area bounded by 5th and 6th Street to the north and south, Hill and Olive Street to the east and west. Once the thriving center of metropolitan life, the small patch of space has since diminished to little visited, little thought of plot of land, such is the sad tale of Pershing Square. The current site of the square was set aside to be a park from the very beginning of city development. In 1866, Mayor Cristobal Aguilar dedicated La Plaza Baja as the public square, informally called St. Vincent's Park, after the college located across the street. In those days, the park was filled with trees and trees to shade from the hot California sun, and grassy lawns on which city dwellers could often be found picnicking. Frederick Eaton created the first official park plan in 1886. The area was renamed Central Park, a name it held for the remainder of the 19th century. Eaton's plan called for vast arrays of plants, making the park lush almost to the point of tropical, which was a sharp contrast to the desert and virtual wasteland surrounding the city and providing citizens with a place of calm escape from their busy lives. A bandstand area was also added for outdoor concerts and to host debates. In the early 1900s, the park underwent a minor renovations under the designs of John Parkinson. Various public art pieces were added, most notably a monument to those who died in the Spanish-American War, believed to be the oldest piece of public art in Los Angeles. The park was renamed Pershing Square in 1918, the name it still holds today, in honor of World War I General John Joseph Pershing. A large three-tier fountain, sculptured by Johann Caspar Lange Grunfeld, was also added and became the centerpiece of the park. But all of this wonderful use of the park was about to change. In 1952, the entire park was demolished to build an expansive underground parking garage. The idea was to relieve congestion and to aid the struggling theater district. Unfortunately, this meant the once great Pershing Square was reduced to mere concrete with only a thin layer of topsoil. The 1954 brought the installation of 2 twin reflecting pools, which helped to improve the park image, but only slightly. This less than appealing image, coupled with the growing decentralization and suburbanization of the city, resulted in the park hardly ever being used. Pershing Square's pitiful state was finally realized when the 1996 Democratic National Convention was hosted across the street, causing the City Council to authorize a $1 million temporary renovation. In 1992, the park underwent one final revision, resulting in present-day design. As a city that prides itself on always being on the cutting edge, LA City Council chose the plan belonging to Ricardo Legorreta of Mexico and Lori Olin of the United States, whose design stood out on account of its colorful aspects and modernistic view. $14.5 million later, new and improved Pershing Square reopened in 1994 with various attractions ranging from seasonal ice rink to a massive 10-story purple bell tower. Although beautiful in its own right, the area is now mostly paved in concrete, with few trees or shaded areas to protect from the direct sunlight and brutal heat which plague the Southern California climate most of the year. The park is hardly ever used, and although attempts have been made by LA's Parks and Rec to draw visitors through events such as winter concerts or ice skating, the park still remains little used, with event attendings not wanting to linger on account of the high percentage of homeless and the high tendencies for crime after dark. Unlike the tropical oasis of old, Pershing Square no longer provides the same escape that it once did. Recent work in the last decade to revitalize downtown has significantly restored the surrounding area's status as a center of commerce and business. But the park's high walls, harsh sun, sharp corners, and busy surrounding traffic make it uninviting from the street level and not much to look out of from an office window. The current design lacks the alluring, cool, and sense of mystery common to traditional parks. It has lost the contrast to its surroundings that previously drew people in to explore. Legorreta and Olin's Pershing Square sets a precedent for non-conventional parks, but yet, although innovative and original in design, the square also shows how these parks cannot work just anywhere. Climate, surroundings, and the purpose must all be taken into account. Pershing Square's jumbled history also provides a prime example that although idea may seem good, it may not always turn out as expected. This is the sad story of a square that began as a peaceful refuge from the hustle and bustle of city life, but through various improvements is now a mere shadow of the glory it once held, a story we as architects must learn for future endeavors.